Hi everyone. So today I wanted to talk about developing a frugal mindset. So I've done this topic before, but I think that it's really important to talk about once in a while. So I will definitely do it again after today. But I wanted to address this again because I think it's really important to talk about. And it can really have a big impact on your life. So a mindset in general is the way we approach and react to situations in life. Your mindset makes a big difference in the decisions that you make. So today I wanted to talk about having a frugal mindset and how it can help you in achieving your financial goals. So what is it like to have a frugal mindset? So someone with a frugal mindset, it's important to them to get the most value out of their money. So if you have a frugal mindset, you're going to be intentional with your money. You're going to make sure it's put to good use. You would be likely to, you would plan how you spend your money so that you can make the best use of it. And you're going to be much less likely to make purchases on a whim. It's not about being cheap. A lot of times people think if you're frugal, that you are cheap. So being cheap is when you just buy everything that you need as cheaply as possible, and you're not concerned about the quality or anything like that. You just buy stuff that's cheap and just get by as cheaply as you can without concern for quality or things like that. If you're being frugal, you're not going to want to buy stuff that's just cheap just because it's cheap, unless it serves your purpose. If you're talking about maybe something like furniture, you're not going to want to buy cheap furniture because you know every couple of years it's going to fall apart and you're going to need to buy it again. You're going to want to wait till you have enough money to buy something more quality, and then you won't have to keep spending money on it. So it's really just about being smart with your money and making good choices so that you can afford the things that you really want and not just spending your money on all these different little things that aren't really super important to you. So sometimes we have financial goals that we'd like to achieve, and we might know that some of the reason we're not getting as far as we would like to get on those goals is because of the choices that we're making in spending our money. But the good news is that you can change your mindset to help you do better at achieving those goals. There's different things you can do to help improve or develop your frugal mindset. So it just takes practice and making small changes over time in the way you think and how you make your spending decisions. So one of the things that's really important in having a frugal mindset is patience. The more you can be patient before making a purchase, the less likely you will be to make impulse buys. So I think patience is probably one of the most important aspects of improving your frugal mindset. A lot of times you'll hear about people talk about having like a time, an amount of time to wait before making a purchase. 24 hours is often talked about, or 48 hours, whatever. But you'll hear people say, before you make a purchase, give yourself at least a day to think about it. And that's because often people might see something and in the moment they're like, I need to have this. I really want this. It's such a great thing. But then by the next day, had you not purchased that item, you probably wouldn't even remember it anymore. Many times, not all the time, but many times. So having that patience and saying, okay, I'd like to buy this, but I'm going to wait and make sure that this is something that I really want, and make a decision with thought rather than just purchasing something quickly the moment you see it. Another example I can think of relating to patience and a frugal mindset is I've talked about the library app that I used before. So I love to listen to audiobooks and rent digital books, and fortunately my library system has a ton available on their free library app. So I listen to audiobooks and read digital books all the time for free. But when it's a popular book, often I have to wait. I have to put the book on hold and wait for it to be available. So sometimes it might be a week, sometimes it might be 4 or 5 weeks. It could be a long time, but there's usually always something else in the meantime that I can get, or whatever, or something else that I had a hold on weeks ago that's available now. There's usually always something that I can read or listen to. But so there's patience involved. yes, I have to wait, but I get the books for free. So I mentioned that to someone I work with, and she was like, well, I'm not gonna wait. I just want to read the book now, so I'm gonna just go and buy the book from Amazon, or I guess Audible through Amazon or whatever. Now, if it's just one book, obviously that's not going to make a huge difference. But if you're purchasing books all the time and you could just wait and hear them for free, that patience is going to save you a lot of money just by waiting to get something that you really would like and not have to pay money for it. Now, of course, that's not the case with most things. There's not a lot of things you can just wait for and get them for free. But you can wait and save up and make sure that you have the money available. So having patience and thinking through and making sure that you really want to spend your money in the way you are spending it is developing that frugal mindset. So another way to help build that mindset is to start saying no more often. So I've talked about this before too, this example, but I think it's a really good example for saying no. So when my kids were younger, when we'd go to this certain shopping center, there was where Target was, there was a Starbucks in it. And every time we would drive in, they would go crazy begging me to get them a drink at Starbucks. And, it's fun to get them something that they think is really special. So I used to give in like all the time and spend like $10 to $15 to get them some kind of fancy drink at Starbucks. But as I started becoming more frugal and watching where our money went more carefully, I started saying no more often. So at first, they threw a big fit. Oh, come on, you always get us that. Can we please, whatever. But I stuck to my answer. And the more I said no, the more they stopped asking all the time. Every time they knew that every time we went to the plaza, they weren't going to get a Starbucks drink. So I'm not saying to say no all the time, but maybe try to make those little types of things more of a special occasion. So like now, say if we have a long day of running errands, or it's someone's birthday, or someone did something special, we might stop in and get them a special drink. But it makes it more of like a fun event rather than just like a regular occurrence. So we're not just spending money all the time just because we happen to drive into the shopping plaza and they need to get like a $5 or $6 drink at Starbucks. So you just want to really start thinking about the purchases that you're making and stop spending money on unnecessary things. Before you make a purchase, just think like, do I really need this? When you went into the store, are you picking up other things that you had no intention of purchasing? If it's something like you walk down the cleaning aisle and you see laundry detergent and you're like, oh, that's right, I need laundry detergent, we're about to run out. Of course, you want to make that purchase. But if it's something that you had no intention of buying, you really don't need, it's just a convenience item or something, a decoration for your home, something like that, that you might not have the money set aside for and you might not have had any intention on purchasing that week, just take time to really think about it, or do the 24-hour rule, or maybe next time you go back to the store, if I still really want it, I'll get it then. Just really consider each item that you're throwing in your cart, whether it's in the store, in person, or online. Because especially online, it's easy to just click and add things to a shopping cart and then to check out. And maybe you never even wouldn't have purchased any of those things if you didn't happen to go online that day. So really just make sure you're being thoughtful about your purchases. And then start putting more time consideration into if a purchase should wait. Like, are you in a position where this purchase is going to put you into debt? Are you buying a cheaper version of something that's not going to last as long, because that way you can just get it now and not have to wait a few months or a year to save up and get a better quality item that'll last longer? Just really kind of think about the purchase that you're making and if you should take more time before making the decision. Being frugal is not about denying yourself. It's really about appreciating what you have and making smart choices with your money. So that's what you want to think. Like, every time a dollar is coming out of your hand and going to make a purchase, you want to develop that habit of thinking, is this really where I want my money to go? So there's some things you're going to notice as you begin to develop that frugal mindset. You won't feel anxious about making a purchase. Now, I'm not saying this is going to be for all people, because some people might not have any anxiety about making purchases. But I'm sure that there's others out there like me who I used to always feel anxious about almost every purchase I made. Even if it was something as small as running into the store and picking up $10 of snacks and drinks to take the kids to the beach, or whatever we were doing that day. Every little purchase would make me feel a little bit anxious because I really didn't know where that money was coming from. And I don't mean that in the way that like you're flat broke, you literally don't know where the money is coming from, or that your bank account's going to overdraw or something like that. I don't mean it in that way. But what you have to think about is every time you make a purchase, that money is not going to something else now. Like, you're making a decision that when you make a decision to purchase something, you're making a decision not to put that money towards something else. So if you spend $40 on something today, that's $40 less it's going to go towards debt, or towards savings, or saving for a vacation, or whatever else you have as financial goals. And if you are fine with spending the $40 on whatever that is, then that's okay, because you're saying, okay, I understand this isn't going to go towards these other things, but I really want or need this thing right now. That's fine, because you've really thought about it. But when you don't think about it and then you later regret that you wish you would have had that $40 to stick into your savings account or to make an extra payment on debt, that's where you want to start developing that thought process to make sure that you're really putting your money where you want it to go. When you start making purchases intentionally and you've decided before making a purchase that that's how you want to spend your money, you'll find that if you do have any of that anxiety, it won't be there anymore. Because you'll know I have the money dedicated for this reason, and I don't have to worry about it because I've already thought about it and made this decision, and I know that this is where I want my money to go. And I'm not saying you need to literally detail out every single little tiny purchase. Like, you're not going to decide next week I'm going to spend $2 on a bottle of iced tea at the store. Of course not. That's not what I mean. But you would have decided that maybe you have $20 available for the week for just kind of free spending money. So if you run into the store and you buy an iced tea, that $2 is coming out of that $20 budget. So it's kind of all of your purchases, but of course things can be kind of categorized. Maybe you have like so much that you want to spend on maybe doing like, I don't know, a day out with your kids, or going to see a movie, or who knows what. But whatever, you might have money set aside in categories and say, this is how much I have, so that it's not like you're going out to the movies and you didn't have any category to pay for that, so now you're pulling that out of your extra debt payments. That's all I mean. Like, you need to kind of have an idea of where you're getting the money to pay for all these various things. Another thing you will notice as you develop more of a frugal mindset is you're not going to be enticed by sales to go out shopping or to buy something that you had no intention of purchasing. Just because something's a good deal, you don't need to buy it. If you've been waiting, if you've been saving to purchase something, and it goes on sale, then yes, of course, you're going to go out and buy it because you were going to buy it anyway. You've been waiting maybe for it to go on sale before you went out and purchased it. That's different. But you're not going to see a sale of something that you weren't going to buy anyway. Now you're going to go looking because it's a great deal. Well, you're still spending money that you weren't planning to spend. You'll notice that you won't feel the need to like upgrade your phone just because yours is paid off and you can afford a new payment now. If the old phone works fine, you're going to be happy to keep it and just keep using it. You won't feel the need to replace your car because it's over 10 years old. Actually, you might want to, you might have the urge to want to see how long you can make it last. You'll appreciate things that you get more value out of the more frugal you become, like the more you have that mindset on getting the best value out of your money. And believe it or not, you'll get more of an appreciation out of the things that you do have when you're making those decisions on how to spend your money. Like, even if it's something really expensive that you might have felt guilty about spending money on in the past, if you've planned for it and you've saved up for it and you've decided that this is how I want to spend my money, you'll be able to really enjoy it and you won't have any guilt about it. So that's all I have to say about frugal mindset. It's really just about being thoughtful about how you spend your money and making sure that you're making decisions to put your money where you want it to go. So if you would like to reach out to me for any reason with episode suggestions or anything really, you can reach me at facebook.com/Lola's Frugal Life. You can reach me, you can message me through there. You can post to the page. We also have a private listeners group, which is facebook.com/groups/Lola's Frugal Life. Or you can email me at lolasfrugallife@gmail.com. No apostrophe in any of those. Also, if you like this show, please don't forget to subscribe. And if you would like to leave me a rating or review, I would really appreciate it. It's supposed to really, really help with the show coming up in search results when people are looking for similar shows. So that would really help me out. So that's it for today. Thank you so much for listening, and I hope you have a really awesome day.